wealth in 13 minutes. Let's find out how poor we are.
Extreme poverty. You're playing a video game for the first time with no skills, cheats, or equipment. Then it's set to ultra hard mode. That's
Oh,
what
God.
extreme poverty is like. You're living on less than $2.15 per day, less than what you'd spend on your favorite Starbucks drink. You can't even stretch the last dollar in your pocket to buy a decent meal. Being under the extreme poverty line doesn't mean you're always short online. Instead, it means no access to food, clean water, shelter, and healthcare. These are basically the luxuries in your life. Think about your average day. You wake up, eat breakfast, turn on the tap for clean water, and maybe even grab your phone to check the news.
Basically, like, basic life needs. Your basic life essentials that everyone should have.
If you're in extreme poverty, each of these things would be a struggle, or you might not have access to them at all. The food they can afford might be minimal, lacking the nutrition needed to stay healthy. You're practically immune to water-based diseases with all the dirty water you drink, but if you do get ill, healthcare isn't your vocabulary because you can't afford a visit to the doctor. You're basically in survival mode the entire time, making extreme poverty an uphill race against time. It's like being stuck at the bottom of a well with no ladder. Poverty. Poverty is like trying to win a game of Monopoly when you start with no money and no properties, and every time you pass go, you get a bill instead of $200. Insufficient
Like
resources
me?
struggle to meet basic needs, like food, housing, healthcare, and education. Imagine a day when you must choose between paying for dinner or keeping the lights on.
You go, you pass go, which is your payday, and you're like, yeah, money, but then you kiss it goodbye as you just received it, but it all goes out the door for bills and rent and whatever.
Practical terms, poverty means living on an income below a certain threshold, but that threshold varies depending on where you live. You may be poor when you're living on $35 a day in America, but you'll be pretty loaded with that money in most African countries. But the point is that being poor means it's a daily struggle to put food on the table or find ways to pay your bills. But being poor isn't about not having enough dollars in the bank. It could also affect your quality of life and leave you stuck in a cycle because you don't have access to things that could help you escape the poverty loop, like higher education or better resources. There's also the idea of relative poverty. When you might have enough money to survive, still you can't participate in social activities in the community because your income is relatively low. Imagine having enough money to go to school, eat well, and pay your bills, but not enough to buy a smartphone. So while your friends share memes, you're playing Snake on your ancient Nokia 3310. Basically, being poor means your opportunities, choices, and freedom are limited, even if you might be making enough money to survive. Lower
Hey, that Nokia was a good phone, apparently, okay?
middle class. Imagine the lower middle class as a group of folks who are comfortably above the poverty line, but not quite capable of putting a pool in the backyard anytime soon. If you're in this class, you're living in a decent neighborhood, maybe in a modest home or an apartment. Your car might be the most reliable Toyota, but not exactly a Lexus.
A Toyota! A Toyota! I have a van. A Kia. It's a Kia. 2009. I wish I could get a Toyota. That's what I wanted. Yeah, Toyotas will run forever if you treat them right. Yep, that's why I wanted one. But nope. I got a Kia 2009 instead.
Being in this class means you have a stable job, but not raking in the big bucks. You're hardworking, maybe in administration, teaching, or trades. Bringing in enough to cover the basics, like food, housing, and utilities, won't be too much of a problem. But you're not in a situation where you can splurge on a shopping spree every time your paycheck comes. In many ways, people in this class tend to live balanced lifestyles because they can save for college and unexpected emergencies, but can't overspend.
Okay, so what's the class in between lower middle class and what was the other one? Poverty? What's the class in between lower middle class and poverty? Next car will be Toyota or Honda. Yeah, Hondas are nice too. Hondas are good. I think those are the two that I had originally been wanting. Toyota or Honda. Yeah, I'd like to know. Yeah, because I feel like I'm probably lower middle class. I'm like smack dab in the middle.
Buying that new iPhone yearly can throw a wrench into your budgeting plans. It's the financial version of, I'm just fine
Lower
here, don't
class.
worry about me. If you were to put it in gaming terms, the lower middle class are experts at min-maxing.
Maybe it's poverty. Maybe it's like middle poverty. Lower middle class. Okay, so lower class.
Which
Maybe,
is
yeah.
when you make the most optimal choices with what you have. And if you play your cards right, you might have some wiggle room for that fancy steak dinner you always wanted to try. Middle class. If you were to rate the middle class on a scale from 1 to 10, they would be 5. They're, as the kids would say, mid. You would say they're the Goldilocks of social
They're
classes,
mid.
not too rich or poor, but just right. What qualifies someone as middle class can vary depending on where you live, your country's economy, and even personal perceptions. Being middle class is often tied to income in many places, but it's not just about numbers. Sure,
Why am I crazy to say I'm poor? I am poor. can't like well actually can't keep up with bills, so that's great. That's great. So middle class. It's called living off credit cards and lines of credit.
there's a general income range, typically earning enough to cover your basic needs like housing, healthcare, and education, but with a little left over for comforts like vacations, dining out, or upgrading your smartphone without feeling too
Vacations.
guilty. But it's also about lifestyle. Think of it as having enough to buy a new phone once every 2 years, but not enough to splurge on luxury brands weekly. If you're in the middle class, you tend to have a more stable job, like teachers, nurses, or office workers, compared to lower income jobs that might be more physically demanding or less secure. But you don't enjoy the financial freedom that lets you retire early. You can't also take unnecessary risks, like funding a wild business that could fail and turn you into a bottom feeder. It's a comfortable space where you're not stressing over every bill, but are still aware that spending too much could land you back on instant ramen noodle dinners for a while. Upper middle class.
Oh man, not instant noodles. And the new phone battery is dying quick and the charging port is loose. Okay, phone batteries are like a joke. I feel like my phone freaking I complain that my phone's dying so fast, so then I'll get a new one, and then like months later I'm like, oh my god, my phone dies so fast. I don't know. It's crazy. The charging port being loose is not good though. I like buy a new one. Yes, let me just pull $1,000 out of my booty hole. Freaking I mean, like you could get like less expensive phones, obviously, but yeah, they're expensive as hell. Or you finance one and then you're paying a higher bill for a prolonged, and then you're paying interest too. I'm probably middle class because I can go on trips. Batteries are made to die fast, so we buy new phones. Yes, Haya. Yes, exactly. they're like, we're gonna make this battery and then we're gonna make it last, be like shit, so then they'll keep buying phones because they'll think buying a new phone will fix the battery. Exactly, exactly. Haya's got it figured out. I just buy $250 Motorola phones. Yeah. I wonder if I can get it fixed. Yeah, they might be able. Maybe. You could probably bring it into like phone repair shop and see if they can fix it. Maybe they just have to like change the charge port or something. I don't know. I remember when I was keeping my old phone and buying just a new $20 battery. Now batteries are not removable. Yeah. Anything to make it so that you just have to buy a new phone. Anything. Our our phone plans here, you good luck finding any that are lower than $70 a month. That reminds me I should buy a new phone. Our phone plans are all like $70 a month or more, which isn't bad, but they're paying for two phones, like that's $140 a month for two phones.
Being in the upper middle class means you're not in the cramped economy section of an airplane, but you can't afford the luxurious first class seats as well. You're right in the middle, where you can afford enough room to stretch your legs, but not enough to have free-flowing champagne. This group has a good handle on their finances and lives a pretty nice life. If you're in this class, you'd have a stable and well-paying job, like a senior manager, a specialized professional, or a successful business owner. You can earn a decent salary to live comfortably in a nice neighborhood, send your kids to good schools, and take vacations. Education is also important because you wouldn't be where you are if you didn't get straight A's in high school and went to an Ivy League school. In most cases, you'd probably follow the lifestyle of the rich and famous because you have a premium gym membership or play golf at an exclusive country club, but you're not exactly flying in private jets or
education does not guarantee this kind of lifestyle.
Driving luxury cars. You're scratching the surface of what it means to be rich, but you're not there yet. But being in the upper middle class can be like having the best of both worlds because you enjoy luxuries without going overboard with your spending habits. You limit
And also the other way around too. You can have no education and end up still in this this kind of lifestyle.
Your extravagance, even if you might be living a good life. It's like drinking the finest bottle of wine, but still having one eye open on the next grocery store sale. Affluent. When you hear someone calling themselves affluent,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Connections over education, usually. Best trick to get rich is to be born rich.
you might want to picture a sunlit room with comfy furniture, fine art on the walls, and maybe even a grand piano in the corner.
Ooh.
That's the lifestyle of someone with more than enough money to live comfortably while enjoying the finer things in life. But they're not exactly rolling in dough. If you're affluent, you can meet all your needs and luxuries while having a good level of financial security. It's not always about having a big bank account, though that's part of being affluent, but it's more about where having enough money meets a good lifestyle, where you have a nice home in a good neighborhood, regular vacations, and dining out at a fancy restaurant every weekend, where the waitstaff already knows your name, and they might even recognize your order before you say it. You can even invest in things like art, high-end technology, or a second property without digging into your bank account. Your wealth gives you choices and flexibility, even though you won't find
this just sounds rich to me, sort of. These are just influencers.
your name on the Forbes list of rich guys anytime soon. Being affluent also means having a good grasp of financial management, often with investments and savings that grow over time. You might also have access to high-quality education and healthcare, contributing to a comfortable and secure lifestyle. Essentially, being at this level of wealth means having a financial cushion that you can sleep nicely on without worrying about losing your job or the inflation rate going up. You're not exactly swimming in gold coins like Scrooge McDuck, but you're comfortably floating in a pool of financial security. Upper affluent. Imagine that you've made it past the basics of financial comfort and living in a realm where the term financial cushion feels more like a luxury mattress. That's what it means to be a member of the upper affluent class. Being at this wealth level means that you have a solid financial foundation that allows you to enjoy many perks without constantly checking the price tag. Your income is significantly higher than average, so you can—
Oh my god, imagine not having to check the price tag. Holy moly. So many times I check the price tag and it's like, oh, I want this so bad, it would be so amazing. And then I check the price tag and it's like $35, $40, $50. And I'm like, nope, don't need it that bad. My parents are pretty much this, I think. Nice, nice. I'm happy for them. Imagine not needing to check the price. Yeah. Imagine just seeing something you want and just being like, well, I'm gonna get that. And you just go and you just pay for it and that's that. You don't have to sit there being like, well, maybe if I like crunch money from here and I like, if I sacrifice this, maybe then I can pay for this. And there was once an item without a tag. I got it anyway. Thought how expensive can it be? Expected 30 max. It was 60. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. We went to Wonderland for their Halloween haunt, and they had some really cute plushies there. I wanted one so bad, but they were like $50. So I couldn't get it. Couldn't get it. It was so weird to go on vacation with my parents. They didn't look at nothing, and I was like, that's expensive. I wish. I wish. One day, maybe. Maybe one day.
Can afford more than essentials. We're discussing things like upscale vacations, high-end cars, and maybe even a second or third property. Having pocket
Oh my
change also
God.
means being able to buy a car when someone dares you to. But it's not just about the big-ticket items. This wealth also means you can invest in experiences that enrich your life, like gourmet dining, exclusive
Oh.
events, and high-quality leisure activities. You might also have a financial advisor to help manage and make the most of your wealth because you can afford to hire someone to do the math for you. Socially, being upper affluent often places you in a circle with other high earners where discussions might revolve around investments, luxury brands, and maybe even philanthropy. It's a lifestyle where you're not just making ends meet, but actively enjoying the finer things and planning
Damn.
for the future. You're at the sweet spot where you can enjoy financial stability while indulging in your hobbies and having enough freedom and flexibility to do what you want without worrying about the future. It's like you found the golden ticket to the financial amusement park, where you can simply skip the long lines and enjoy the ride. Millionaire.
Oh. Only in my dreams? Yeah. I hate those stupid fast lane things that they introduced at the amusement. Why should you get on the freaking ride faster just because you have more money? Get in the freaking line. Get in the line. I hate it. Cuz they probably make the line that much worse with all these freaking fast lane going, and then it's making the regular lineup worse. Just no. I don't want to pay more because money. Money, 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 money. That's why. What? $200 for the fast lane at Disney? Oh my god. What? That's my car insurance. What? $10K for VIP pass? No, come on. That can't be real. Disney tickets are like only $10K, practically a gift. Yeah, the tickets for the Disney parks in Florida are insane. I I can't actually believe how expensive they are. Like, holy shit. Oh my god, you have what, Roy? What? For real? That's crazy. I didn't even know there are events that cost less than 10K. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. That's crazy. That's insane.
Being a millionaire means you've hit the
Hell
$1 million
yeah.
mark in net worth. This means that all your assets minus your liabilities are worth $1 million. Think of it as having a giant piggy bank worth 7 figures. In practical
People pay for forced interaction and no okay. Yeah, I'm not the type of person where like I wouldn't want a butler or anything like that, or like a tour guide. It it would make me feel so awkward. If it's just so awkward to me, like I just give me maybe like a general idea of, some highlights, and then let me just go. I don't want you to show me around. I don't want you to talk to me. I don't want like it's, I'm good. Just tell me the highlights and let me go on my own, and that's it. Like, I feel like having a butler would be weird. Yeah. So, when Jello and I went to Cuba 2 years ago, it was our first time ever going to any island or resort, and we went to. It was an adults only area of the resort, and they had not butlers. Maybe they were called butlers, but it wasn't like your own personal one. They had it so that there was a butler for each like area of the rooms were all bundled. So there was like 5 rooms in one building, and then in the other building there was another 5 rooms or something like that. So you had one butler per area. And if they ever seen you, they would be like, "Oh, do you want me to like book you a restaurant reservation and this and that?" Because they would do that. And it made me feel so weird. And I would be like, I can do it myself. It's fine. I can make my own reservation. But yeah, it felt weird. And they'd be like, "Oh, do you need me to bring that to your room or something?" And I'd be like, "No, I can do it by myself. It's fine." Call you. Look, we had to finance that vacation, okay? We only just finished paying it off this year. Adults only. Yes, no kids. No kids. Congratulations on your friend being a father. Heck yeah. Oh god. But you could pay for it, yeah. I mean, I guess true. I guess true. I just want to be a millionaire, Roy. I just want to be a millionaire. I just want to be a millionaire.
Terms, this could mean
It's too
having a
much.
mix of assets, like a big house, investments in stocks or real estate, and maybe even a yacht if you're feeling fancy. You're likely able to live comfortably without worrying too much about the price of everyday things. You might splurge on a few luxuries, like vacations or high-end gadgets, but you probably have a good chunk of your wealth invested in things that help it grow even more, because even your money needs a vacation.
Your money needs a vacation, my gosh. Okay, Slasher, have a good rest of your Saturday.
A millionaire doesn't necessarily mean you're ultra rich, like the billionaires you hear about in the news. A solid financial position allows for a comfortable lifestyle and financial security. You're more likely to be able to afford higher education for your kids, retire early, or start a business if that's your thing.
Wow,
and it also
retiring
means you can
early.
finally have that gourmet cup of coffee every morning without thinking twice. Of course, the cost of living can vary greatly depending on where you are. In a place like New York City or San Francisco, that million might not stretch as far as it would in a smaller town or rural area. You might spend more on parking than a month's worth of groceries. But overall, being a millionaire means you've got a decent financial cushion and some flexibility to enjoy life's perks without sweating the small stuff. Multi-millionaire. Let's say you've leveled up in the world of millionaires and taken the next step into becoming a multi-millionaire. You're like a Pokemon in the sense that leveling up in the financial world allows you to evolve into your next stage. As a multi-millionaire, you're not just worth at least $1 million. Instead, your net worth is now so high that it's multiple times higher than your regular millionaire. It might be in the 8-figure range, but it could also be in the 9-figure stage, where you're worth hundreds of millions. Being a millionaire is not just about having a big stack of cash, but also having so many zeros in your account that even your calculator is starting to sweat. You're looking at more millions than you can count, coming from a successful business, smart investments, even a hefty inheritance, or maybe even a magical ATM. Multi-millionaires enjoy a lifestyle including luxury homes, high-performance cars, and multiple properties worldwide.
Damn. Sometimes I wonder, what is it like to log into your bank account and just see a bunch of zeros? You just see, like, what does it feel like? Like, it just must, man, imagine not having to worry. Holy shit.
Investments include real estates, stocks, and expensive art. At this stage of wealth, you make decisions based on passion and interest, rather than necessity. It's like that successful YouTuber who pursued a career in the WWE because he's set for life. But it's worth noting that being a multimillionaire doesn't necessarily mean you can swim in a pool full of cash daily, because it only means your net worth is high. You could have no money in your wallet or bank account, but still be a multimillionaire because of your assets. That's a good thing if someone robs you on the street because you don't even have a penny to give. Billionaire. If you're a billionaire, you're basically in a contest where you and other rich people are trying to win a contest of who has the most zeros in your net worth. To put
Oh my god. That's what I want to be, just have money for whatever you want. Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, imagine. I feel like going to Europe today. I'm just gonna go book my trip right now. You can bring your friends with you. You can do whatever you want. Don't even have to work, probably, at that point. Jeez.
things in perspective, if a millionaire's wealth is like owning a fancy sports car, a billionaire's wealth is like owning the whole racetrack. $1 billion is $1,000 million. To make things clearer, imagine having $1 billion. You spend $1,000 every day. Most people can't even spend that much daily unless they live in hotels and eat luxury food every meal. But spending that much in a day will take you nearly 3,000 years to spend the $1 billion in your bank. Basically, billionaires have more money than they could count or ever need in a lifetime. With billions of dollars, you could buy a private island, a fleet of yachts, or even a small country if you feel extravagant. But beyond the glitz and glamour, billionaires often invest their money in businesses and technology. They might be behind the next big tech innovation. That iPhone you're looking at right now comes from the millions of dollars invested by billionaires. These guys don't always have the easiest lives because they manage large companies, navigate complex investments, and handle public scrutiny of having such immense wealth. Imagine people telling you daily that you can feed all of Africa with half of your net worth. Still, that beats having to work your daily 9-to-5 job.
Agreed. Wow. Oh my gosh. Imagine having that much money. That's insane. That's just an insane amount of money for anyone to have. I wanna be a millionaire. So freaking bad.